There is a phenomenon in wildlife rescue that has no clean explanation. You can find a wild animal that is technically being saved, and its body will behave as if the final attack has already begun. Most people assume rescue is something an animal can recognize. The biology documents specific points at which it often cannot. A deer caught in a fence is not only stuck in wire, it is stuck inside a sequence. The legs have kicked against metal. The skin has pulled against pressure. The muscles have fired again and again, not because the animal is dramatic, not because it is stupid, but because every older survival program in its body says the same thing. Remove the body from restraint, create distance, keep moving until the trap breaks or the predator loses contact. Then a human appears. The human may be walking slowly. The hands may be empty. The voice may be soft, but the animal does not receive softness as mercy. It receives height, forward motion, direct attention, and closing distance, while its own body has no working exit. That is a different category. In some wild animals, extreme exertion and restraint can push the body into a state where the rescue is already arriving, too late for the internal system. Heat rises, oxygen debt builds, stress chemistry floods the body, muscles that were designed for short bursts keep firing under impossible conditions, and the same machinery that once made escape possible begins to damage the tissue it was meant to save. The wire did not kill it in a simple way. The struggle became the injury. The human arrives. At the end of the sequence, holding cutters, ropes, gloves, and good intentions. But inside the animal's body, those details may not matter. The system has already translated the event. Contact, restraint, no exit, attack. A second failure happens when the animal does not break physically, but the information becomes unusable. A seal tangled in fishing line does not understand a boat as an emergency vehicle. A sea turtle wrapped in netting does not understand a knife as a tool of release. A trapped shorebird does not understand a towel as protection from broken wings. Each object enters the nervous system as movement, pressure, shadow, vibration, and contact. The human mind sees steps: approach, secure, cut, release. The animal may receive something closer to a predatory chain: approach, corner, touch, hold. That difference matters because wild perception is not built around human intention. It is built around pattern recognition. A body that moves straight toward you is different from one that passes by. Eyes that stay fixed are different from eyes that drift away. Hands that reach are different from branches that move in wind. A quiet human can still be the loudest object in the animal's world because danger is not measured only in sound. It is measured in control. For a prey animal, restraint has a very old meaning. It often comes after the chase. It often comes after distance has failed. It often comes when teeth, claws, weight, or entanglement have removed the last option. A rescuer may be trying to reduce movement. The animal's system may read that reduction as the moment before consumption. Even when the animal stops fighting, the interpretation is not clean. Stillness can look like cooperation from the outside. It can look like trust. It can look like the animal has somehow understood that the human is helping. Sometimes that may be partly true in a limited behavioral sense. The animal may detect that the immediate pressure is changing. It may notice that pain decreases when the rope loosens. It may stop because fighting no longer produces useful results. But stillness is not proof of peace. It can be a calculation. It can be exhaustion. It can be defensive inhibition, where the motor system stops producing large movements. Because every available movement has failed. The body is still collecting data. The ears twitch. The pupils remain wide. The breathing stays shallow. The head may remain locked on the human hand that is closest to the wound. Actions do not create escape here, therefore generate fewer actions. A third failure appears in confined predators because the system is not built to request help from the thing that controls the door. A fox in a transport cage, a bobcat inside a metal trap, or a raptor wrapped in netting may not behave like a wounded victim. It may lunge, strike, bite the bars, slam its body sideways, and then suddenly stop in a posture so still it looks artificial. The shift can seem mysterious to a viewer watching from behind a camera. It is less mysterious when the cage is treated as a broken environment. The animal is not failing at wildness. It is running wildness inside a container. The predator's normal program depends on distance, angles, cover, speed, and choice. A wild predator can retreat into brush, rotate around a threat, disappear behind terrain, or choose the moment of contact. The cage removes those variables. The animal keeps the weapons, but loses the map. So the system alternates: strike, withdraw, freeze, watch. The cage does not teach the animal that the human is safe. It teaches that the human can approach without being avoided. That is not reassurance. That is a violation of the normal rule set. A rescuer may see a successful restraint protocol. The animal may experience a world where its own threat display no longer changes the distance of the threat. The display was written for open ground. The cage gives it no answer. This is why some trapped predators look less afraid than they are. Their face may seem calm because the body has stopped wasting energy. The eyes may seem focused because every remaining decision depends on timing. The animal is not making a moral judgment about the person outside the bars. It is measuring the only opening left in the event: the hand, the latch, the gap. The fourth failure is sensory, and it can happen very fast. Place a wounded animal at night under headlights. Add camera lenses, add reflective vests, add engine noise, add gloves, poles, nets, metal cutters, radios, blood scent, wet rope, and human voices coming from several directions. The animal is not deciding whether humans are kind. Its system has encountered a scene outside its normal operating range. A young deer knows tall grass, forest edges, open fields, and the body language of other deer. A pelican knows water, wind, fish movement, and the pressure of line around a wing. A raccoon knows openings, shadows, hands to avoid, and exits to test. None of these maps contain a clean symbol for rescue. So the nervous system reduces the world to simpler categories: movement toward the body, pressure on the body, loss of exit, sudden light, contact near injury, humans forming a ring. The meaning becomes mechanical. Danger with tools. That is the central problem. The animal does not need to misunderstand human kindness in a poetic way. It only needs to lack a biological category for it. Mercy has no smell that every species recognizes. Compassion has no universal posture. Rescue has no ancient silhouette stored inside the nervous system. The fence response was written for escape from restraint. The net response was written for avoiding contact after capture. The cage response was written for open terrain, distance, and threat display. The night rescue response was written for darkness, cover, and simple predator geometry. Every single one of these can be the correct program running in the wrong conditions. That is why the moment can feel so strange when the animal finally stops fighting and starts watching. A human may want to believe. The look means understanding. The safer answer is colder. The animal is still processing a force it cannot fully classify. It has not entered a human story. It has reached the edge of its own map. And sometimes, after the rope is cut, after the gate opens, after the net falls away, the animal does not turn back because it is grateful. It turns back because the danger is still being measured. That is the boundary between humans and the wild. Our deepest act of compassion may arrive in the exact shape of a predator's final strike, and the animal may survive without ever knowing the difference. Thanks for watching. If this stayed with you, subscribe for more quiet breakdowns of wild behavior, animal perception, and the strange limits of human meaning in nature. See you next time.